From 3 News Now and the Omaha World-Herald, this is Omaha Sunday Morning with Jennifer Griswold.
This week on Omaha Sunday Morning, not one but 4 bundles of joy recently got to go home with Mom and Dad. From the moment the quads were born until when they left Nebraska Medicine, we show you their journey and the unique personalities of each one. And they are blasts from the past. The sounds, graphics, and moving parts take you back to a childhood arcade. But pinball machines aren't just antiques gathering dust. The man in Omaha making sure they keep clicking and spreading smiles. Thanks for joining us on this Easter Sunday. Tomorrow night we find out who lands the top spot in college basketball. All that NCAA excitement played out right here in Omaha too, culminating with a classic overtime thriller between Duke and Kansas. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Megan McGill takes a look back as the spotlight shined brightly on the hardwood at the CenturyLink Center and on Omaha.
And we play on into the Omaha night, and there's no place I'd rather be. This is how the game of basketball should be played, and they might want it to end, but I got to be honest, I don't know if I want this game to ever end, man. That's how good it's been. Kylu will launch a 3 on the right wing. Got it! We're tied at 72. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, Allen off balance, bank shot, rolls out, no! Overtime in Omaha! Overtime in Omaha! Thank goodness we get more basketball! Malik Newman may turn into Kansas's hero of the decade. Inside, the kick in the left corner, Newman for 3! Hello, Newman! 81-78, Kansas by 3. Kansas leaves the Devils blue in a classic in Omaha. Kansas wins it 85-81, and the Jayhawks are going to the Final Four. The Final Four is set with this Kansas win. Loyola Chicago plays Michigan. Villanova plays Kansas.
Gotta love March Madness. Fans who came to the NCAA regional finals say Omaha made a slam dunk hosting the big tournament. And it won't be the last one. The big dance comes back to Omaha in 2020 for the first and second rounds. And 2020 will be a busy year. Omaha will also host the U.S. Olympic swim trials and the NCAA volleyball tournament. Old-fashioned arcade games. You may remember Kiss, Pac-Man, just to name a couple. A once popular blast from the past, and we're talking the 70s, 80s, even 90s, is still alive and thriving thanks to the pinball fanatics around town. As Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Kent Sievers found, pinball is not dead thanks to one man's love for bringing the old bar games back to life.
Hi, I'm Brian Halleck. I'm the pinball and jukebox guy. I fix and buy and sell pinballs, arcade machines, whatever amuses you to the general public. And today I'm at Hollywood Candy. We have roughly 80 machines that we're doing, about 50 pinballs of being the 80 machines that we have to get up and running, clean, re-rubber. And yeah, it's a lot of work that we have to get done before our hopefully opening date around April 1st. But what I do is I take the pinball, and like on the electromechanicals, there's roughly 200 contacts plus that I have to actually go through and clean every one of them, readjust every one, make sure it goes into the mechanics right. I have to wax down the play fields, the plexiglass pieces that cover all the bands, put new rubber bands on them. I put new bulbs and try to make stuff work. There's stuff that gets corroded that you have to try to polish out. You have to wax a lot of stuff, clean a lot of stuff. But for the 80% of the time, they come out pretty good. How I got into this, there's this pool hall over by my house in South Omaha, and there's a bunch of people I hung out with, so I started going to this pool hall. It's like, well, heck, I'm gonna try to get a job here. So I got a job there, and I just tended the pool hall, and I didn't know how to really fix anything, but he had me clean them up and, you know, fix a flipper or something like that, and the jukeboxes, I didn't really got into them that much at that time. Arcades, maybe I'd fix a power supply. Afterwards, it's like, you know what, I can maybe do this for a living. And so I did a Thrifty Nickel ad. I had to pull my name right back out because there was too much response to it. And therefore, just word of mouth snowballed, which I don't understand, because I bet for the first 2 years of me fixing pinballs, I probably broke more than I fixed. I guarantee it.
He's been repairing the retro machines for 30 years. He's working with Hollywood Candy to restore more than 50 retro pinball machines. This spring, the Old Market shop will open a nostalgic pinball arcade. The Buffett Cancer Center recently glowed orange, bringing awareness to the cancer that took the life of the center's namesake. Kidney cancer is not one you hear about as often as breast or lung cancer, but it impacts families just the same. We'll introduce you to one woman who is not letting her diagnosis stop her when Omaha Sunday Morning continues. Not one, but 4 bundles of joy. A Nebraska family of 3 is adjusting to life as a family of 7 now. The quadruplets were born last month at Nebraska Medicine and spent weeks in the newborn intensive care unit. A few weeks ago, the last little one was finally able to go home. Nebraska Medicine shows us their amazing journey.
We found out at like 6 weeks we were pregnant, and then we found out there was 3. Then around 18 weeks, there was Blakely. And so that was a big shock to know there was 4 of them.
With the relationship that we had with Shaylee, once we knew that she had cervical dilation, it was a simple admission to us because she had established some rapport with at least 2 of the providers in our group.
I think they wanted to get to 28 weeks, and then it was, you know, they just said each week is a blessing. My goal was to get to 32, so to get to 34 was awesome. I didn't know what to expect. But we woke up and Dr. Burt came in and talked to us, and all the nurses came in, and, you know, we went over the plan of what was going to go on that day.
We had 18 NICU staff alone prepped and ready to go for this delivery, and everything was flawless. We worked as a team, we had great communication, and best of all, the babies had wonderful outcomes.
The operating room was intimidating at first just because there's so many people and just everything in there. There was a lot of stuff in there.
Here comes one.
Yeah, it flew by. I didn't even know that she'd cut me open and they were coming, and then there was crying, so that was pretty cool.
Hi, honey. Happy birthday.
None of them had any complications prior to delivery. We were lucky. None of these kids had a structural malformation. None of them had growth restriction, which is very common in higher order multiples. So we had really good babies to work with.
I got to see Jack in the delivery room because he was the only one who didn't have to be on oxygen. So that was really neat. And then all the other ones I didn't get to see till I came down here that night. And it was just crazy to see what each of them looked like, and really neat to just finally see them. Emmett is the smallest, but definitely has a lot of personality and lets you know when he is hungry. We say he gets hangry. Blakely, Kay is my middle name, and she is just the little princess of all of them. They're all easygoing, but Jack definitely, he doesn't get upset about much, just likes to hang out and likes to eat. Bo just likes to hang out. We say he's like a bum out of all of them, just lays there. Yesterday he slept through his bath.
This is not just about the nurses and doctors. This is about our respiratory therapists, our phlebotomists, our clerks, our students, our residents. It takes literally a village to care for all of these babies.
We wouldn't have gotten this far without them. And they're awesome, amazing team of people. And you know, there wasn't a day or hour that went by that some nurse or somebody didn't stop in to just be like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Is there anything we can do? And the doctors were amazing.
I have the utmost respect for their mother, who grew 18 pounds of baby and is now breastfeeding 4 babies, and they're growing and thriving on her milk, and her positive attitude and the support from her extended family is just beautiful. So we have been blessed and thrilled to be a part of their story.
Going home and being home, getting to be a family with all of them, and seeing Ellie with all the kids is fun. Blakely, she says, is her best friend already, so it's really neat to see their bond is really cool. A blessing. I don't know, we're so lucky that, oh yeah, it's amazing that they're doing so well. It's really awesome.
Precious. Jack, Emmett, Blakely, and Bo were the first set of quads born at Nebraska Medicine since 2008. Earlier this month, you may have noticed an orange glow in the Midtown area. The Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center lit up to bring awareness to kidney cancer, the same cancer that took the life of Fred Buffett, Warren's cousin, in 1997. Since then, there have been many medical advancements. Morning anchor Emily Zink shares the story of one local woman who is not dwelling on a recent diagnosis.
We're not going to miss Bridget, are we?
Kim Bird of North Bend, Nebraska loves being a grandma. But recently, she hasn't been able to be as active with the 8-month-old. Bird is recovering from having her left kidney removed.
Every day was an improvement, and, I feel like I've, bounced back pretty quick.
In early February, the mother of 4 noticed blood in her urine and had discomfort in her side. She went to the doctor and was diagnosed with a UTI, but the side effects didn't go away. A month later, she insisted on getting a CAT scan at Nebraska Medicine.
And unfortunately, after getting some scans, she had a very large kidney cancer. Looks like it has spread to the lungs.
I definitely asked, I said, is it something I ate or drank or did or, I was blaming coffee.
Dr. LaGrange says her lifestyle didn't cause the cancer. Even though it spread to her lungs and isn't curable, it is controllable with medical therapy. LaGrange says Bird is lucky she took the warning signs like blood in her urine and pain in her kidney area seriously.
I'll tell you, some of the most important prognostic signs for kidney cancer are your overall health and how well you're functioning, and she's in great shape and very active, and so I think she's going to do well.
Bird says she won't know the next step in her treatment until her appointment at the Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center in a few weeks.
Life goes on. Again, it doesn't stop just because something happened to you.
For now, she isn't dwelling on the diagnosis. Bird's faith and family, including another grandbaby on the way, are keeping her positive.
I don't have a bucket list. It's just important to be with people and friends and family.
And you can tell she has a great attitude. You can dangle from great heights, fight cowboys in the Wild West, and run away from zombies chasing you by moving only a couple feet. Still ahead on Omaha Sunday Morning, we explore the world of virtual reality, what it's like to step inside another world, and where you can try it for yourself. Stepping into a whole new world, taking on zombies, scaling an 80-story building, perhaps taking that ever so careful step forward, staring at the streets below. Virtual reality arcades are picking up steam right now in Omaha, bringing gamers a more realistic experience. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Julia Nagy ventures into the 360-degree digital world.
There it goes. He's out the door. Ooh. Nice view.
Like here, you feel like you're in the actual game, and it's way more intense. You actually feel like you're in danger. It feels easier to control. You can move around like it's your own body, because in the computer games, you try to move and it moves too far, and then you have to go back and you move too short, and it's harder to control.
It's definitely, in my opinion, the future of gaming. That's kind of how why I wanted to get into it at the beginning. The technology's really only been around for, you know, a year and a half. I think people aren't aware that it's out there, so that's one of the harder parts of marketing, is trying to explain what it is. But once they experience it, I think there's definitely a demand. I've seen a lot of return customers once they've tried it once.
It's just fun to be someone else playing a different, or doing something you could never normally do.
So much fun. There are a couple of VR arcades here in Omaha. Omaha Virtual Reality has been operating out of West Roads since July 2017. Infinite Loop VR in La Vista just held its grand opening back in January. Reading is the foundation of a good education. The Kiwanis Club of Omaha Golden K has a mission of reaching out to young learners in North Omaha by sitting down together and opening a book. This morning we go in the classroom at Conestoga Elementary.
It was time for bed. The day was done.
But Hazel and Wally were still up having fun.
Every week at Conestoga Elementary at 22nd and Burdett, students pair up with seniors and read with them.
As you walk down the hall, you see the Kiwanis readers with their students, and they are so engaged in each other.
Tell me the name of this title.
Martin's Journey.
What is a journey?
And like an adventure.
John Young has been volunteering here for about 15 years.
I am retired, but I was also an elementary teacher for 40 years, so it's kind of a natural for me.
He looks forward to this every week.
We want these kids to like reading because that allows you to have a lifelong hobby, you become a lifelong learner, and you're never bored if you like to read.
I can read about this entire series within a day, and there's 5 books.
Marasia Harris has an insatiable love of books. She enjoys time spent with Kiwanis readers.
Usually the reader bonds with most of the class, and then the class is like, pick me, I want to read.
The Golden K also hosts book giveaways a few times a year at Conestoga. They're making an impact, as Young showed us through this adorable feedback.
Thank you for reading with us. I'm happy to get to read with a talented, nice, kind, smart, brilliant reader. Even though you're old, you are still smart. And I'm confused how you're smart when you're old. She spelled confused right, too.
Getting books in children's hands at a young age and showing them it will serve them well for many years to come.
The In the Classroom series is part of our commitment to covering education in our communities. You can find our ongoing series on our website, 3newsnow.com. We'll be back with Jeff Katurba's weekly cartoon and his take on hate mail. Now a look at what's happening this week in Omaha. Wednesday, learn more about how women played a role in Omaha's history. That's all day at the Durham Museum. And next Saturday at Lorison Gardens, get a glimpse of some amazing creations built with reclaimed plastics. For more information on these events and others, take a look at the community calendar on omaha.com. And finally this week, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, right? But sometimes one can get a little carried away. The work of Omaha World-Herald editorial cartoonist Jeff Katurba sometimes draws in plenty of hate mail. He gives us his take on it.
I'm Jeff Katurba. I am the editorial cartoonist for the Omaha World-Herald. I get fan mail, wonderful emails, and lots of compliments on social media. Who doesn't love hearing nice things about one's work? I even get quirky fan mail like this from Rudy Watson. He's clipped out this cartoon I drew about Mark Zuckerberg regarding recent troubles at Facebook. Not only did Rudy write a nice letter, he made a few changes to my cartoon. I like mine scrambled. Not exactly sure what it means, but it made me laugh. But admit it, fan mail just isn't very interesting, is it? What you really want to hear about are all the awful things people say about me. Like this anonymous letter from Bakersfield, California. The person is upset with this cartoon about the poisoning of a Russian ex-spy and his daughter. Are you stupid, he writes. You believe Putin, Russia, did it? It's not just me who thinks so. Most of the Western world believes it. The kicker is where he writes, you are also so stupid, you think Oswald did it. It's not just my cartoons some people have taken issue with. I've heard lots of nice things about a column I wrote about how I fell in love with journalism. In the column, I even got personal and wrote about how I was inspired by my dad and my uncle. And yet, this person says, "Give us a break. Nobody cares except you, your friends, and your mama. No one cares." He ends with the word "better left" blurred out. Did I mention the letter was also anonymous? Look, I sign my cartoons and I'm always glad to engage with readers. In fact, just when it seems the world is all divided and angry, I firmly believe most of us can have a civil discussion about most any topic, no matter where we stand. So if you have a comment about one of my cartoons, even if you disagree, please reach out. But also, keep it clean.
And for what it's worth, we think Jeff is smart and pretty great. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Omaha Sunday Morning. We'll see you back here next week.